Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Lubufu, and Wizards has now posted the full Avacyn restored card image gallery, which is what I was waiting for to talk about the set. Now, when I talked about Innistrad and Dark Ascension, I did it all at one time, and people requested that I do it one color at a time, so I will. I would also like to point out that any comments I make will be from a purely limited standpoint. This means for draft and for sealed, for those of you going to release or pre-release and release events for Avacyn Restored. I'm not the best at speculating at standard, as has been seen in the past, so to avoid that, I'm going to stick with the format that I am strongest with, which will be limited. So let's go ahead and look through white. First we have Angel of Glory's Rise. It's a 5 mana 4 or it's 5 mana. It's a 7 mana 4/6 flyer that is reverse zombie apocalypse. It's a human apocalypse. When it enters the battlefield, exile all zombies and return all human cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now I think this is a pretty strong card in limited because if you're playing white, odds are you are playing humans. The humans in this set are pretty strong. The humans and the angels. White is by far my favorite color, as I've seen. So this is definitely I would say a solid rare. In draft, it's less good than sealed, because sealed you can build around it better. So if you open this pack 3 of draft, it might be a little bit, sketch. Next we have Angel of Jubilation. It's a 3/3 flyer for 3 white and a colorless. That other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1, and players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities. Again, another pretty good card if you're playing some sort of limited format and you get this early in a draft because you get the chance to build around it. A 3/3 flyer for 4 is already pretty good, and the Anthem effect only makes it that much better. Next we have Angel's Mercy, which I like this art better, which is 4 mana, gain 7 life. I'm actually going to stop saying what each card does. That is not a card you should be playing in any limited format. I just don't recommend it, even though it gains you life, and I know everyone says, oh, gaining life is good. Generally, it's not something you want to play in your deck. Next we have Angelic Wall. It's a 0/4 Defender flyer for 2. I think this one's fine if you're playing a slower deck. Angelic Wall is huge for 2 mana. It really can stop a lot of things. Next we have a reprint of Archangel. 7 mana for 5/5 Flying Vigilance. I think this is just a little bit on the expensive side for what it does. I mean, a 5/5 Flying Vigilance for 7's fine. Nothing spectacular. But if you need something to top up the curve in some sort of slow sealed deck, this may be something to think about. Next, of course, we have Avacyn Angel of Hope. The 8/8 for 8 Flying Vigilance that everything you control is indestructible. If you open this in your sealed pool and have enough white to back it up, definitely something to think about, because she is a great bomb in sealed, especially since the format's a little bit slower. In draft, maybe not so much. 8's kind of expensive, but you never know. Next, we have Banishing Stroke. 6 mana or Miracle 1 that puts artifact, creature, enchantment on the bottom of its Odor's library. In sealed, this is very good. In draft, it's fine. There's very little direct removal in this set, so having this is pretty useful, in my opinion. The ability to tuck away their best guy is definitely something to think about. Next, we have Builder's Blessing. It's an enchantment for 4 that untapped creatures you control get +0/+2. Definitely not something I would personally think about playing. Yes, it makes you guys bigger, but I'd rather have other cards that actually directly do something. Next we have Call to Serve. 2 mana for enchant non-black creature. It gets +1/+2, has flying, and is an angel in addition to its other types. I think it's fine. If you have some sort of angel tribal thing going on, definitely something to think about. Other than that, nothing insane. Next you have Cathar's Crusade. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This is definitely a bomb if you're going white. Very, very good. Definitely something to think about if you open it in your sealed pool. Next we have Cathedral Sanctifier. It's a 1/1 for 1 that enters the battlefield. You gain 3 life. I would only really play this if I have some sort of human theme going on, because otherwise a 1/1 for 1 is nothing, too great unless you're super aggressive or if this helps you out with the humans. The way to think about these sort of cards is not only if you have it in your opening hand, but also what happens if you draw it on, say, turn 10, right? Next you have Cloud Shift. Exile target creature you control and return that card to the battlefield under your control. I mean, this one's, I think, pretty good because of the lack of removal, and it offers not only protection, but if you have things that have enter the battlefield effects, if you have, Cathar's Crusade in play, definitely something to think about. I like this as a 1 mana cost little trick. Next you have Commander's Authority. It's a 5 mana enchant creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 white human token onto the battlefield. I mean, I think this is fine. It's nothing great, but it's something that I personally enjoy. Forces them to use their removal, but if they do, then they get a 2 for 1 out of it. But if this gets out of hand, you have such a huge advantage. Next we have Curse Break. Destroy target enchantment, you gain 2 life. Sideboard tech. We have Defang, 2 mana, enchant creature, prevent all damage that would be dealt by enchanted creature. So this is better than Ghostly Possession, in my opinion, because if you attack into it, they don't have a blocker that can just always block. They always have to deal with this. I definitely think this is, a pretty strong card in limited. Next we have Defy Death. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's an angel, put 2/+1/+1 counters on it. I really like this card because if you're playing solid cards already, Defy Death already gets you a good one, and it helps if you have some sort of angel theme going on. Next is Devoured Chaplin. It's a 2/2 for 3 that tap 2 untapped humans you control, exile target artifact or enchantment. Nothing spectacular. If you have some sort of human thing going on, it's definitely another one to keep in mind. Definitely something that should be in your sideboard if they have some insane enchantment or artifact or enchantment. Next you have Divine Deflection. X white, prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to you and or permanents you control this turn. If damage is prevented, it deals that much to target creature or player. This is a great card. In my opinion, I mean, it can just wreck so much stuff. A combat trick, and can be removal against a big creature. Definitely a good card. If you open this as a rare, it's definitely splashable. Next you have Emancipation Angels, a 3/3 for 3 that when it enters the battlefield, you return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. I think this is fine. Again, if you have some sort of angel theme, it's great. A 3/3 fire for 3 is definitely not that bad. This is a somewhat fast format, I've noticed. And having this bouncing a land may put you a turn behind, but it could certainly be worth it in the long run. Next we definitely have one of the better cards in the set, Entreat the Angels. Puts a ton of angel tokens on the battlefield. If you're going white, definitely play this card. If you're not, you should trade this to me because I want it. Okay, moving on. Next you have Farbog Explorer. It's a 3 mana 2/3 Swamp Walk. And it's a human, which is important to keep in mind. I play this guy simply because I like playing Somberwall Dryad, and against the black decks, a 2/3 unblockable is very, very, very strong. Otherwise, it's a 2/3 for 3, which is not that great, but it's not horrible. Again, if you're playing white, you probably have human cards, so that's why. Next is Gold Knight Commander. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I like this guy. It fits with the general theme white has. Definitely something to keep in mind. Next we have Gold Knight Redeemer. 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each other creature you control. I would only really play this if I don't have any other giant 6-drops to play. This is not the best one, but it's okay. Nothing too great. Herald of War, on the other hand, is very good. White, you are playing angels and humans, so Herald of War allows for you to cast spells a lot cheaper. It gets bigger every turn, and it's just, they have to deal with it. Next we have Holy Justicar. It's a 4 mana 2/1 that taps target creature. If it's a zombie, exile it. Definitely a creature I like. It's not as good as most tappers that have been in previous sets, like Gideon's Lawkeeper or even Abyssinian Priest. but definitely something that I would play. Can certainly hold off some of the bigger guys, and definitely something that's very good. Leap of Faith, not as much. To leave up 3 mana for a combat trick is pretty obvious you have something, so you probably can't do much with that. Next we have Midnight Duelist, which is a 1/2 for 1 that has protection from vampires. Again, it's not that great. It's decent sideboard tech if, you know, they're playing a ton of vampires, which there aren't that many good ones, I mean, in Avacyn Restored. So, meh, not that great. We have Midvast Protector. It's a 4 mana 2/3 that when it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Definitely something that can turn the tables in your favor. If you're playing humans, he's someone you might consider as a 22nd or 23rd card. Next, you have Moonlightgeist. It's a 3 mana 2/1 flyer that you can prevent all damage dealt to and dealt by this guy. I don't like him very much, to be honest. Yeah, you have to leave up 4 mana for him, which is kind of huge. Next, we have Moorland Inquisitor, which, in my opinion, is a lot like Dark Thicket Wolf in Innistrad. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that for 3 mana you can give it First Strike, which is arguably less good than +2/+2. But definitely something that can put on some early pressure. And as I said, human. Next, you have Near Heath Pilgrim. It's a 2 mana 2/1 with Soul Bond that when it's paired, as long as it's paired with another creature, they both have lifelink. I like this guy. He's okay. I mean, you can pair him with some flyer and make sure you have some life back. Otherwise, a 2/1 for 2 is not, you know, horrible. Restoration Angel is great. A 3/4 flash flyer that you can bounce a creature. Just very powerful. Definitely something that, you know, splashable. Definitely, if you open this up, consider playing it. Next, you have Riders of Gavany. 4 mana 3/3 Vigilance that when it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, and humans you control have protections from creatures of the chosen type. This is so powerful. 4 mana for 3/3 Vigilance is great. It's human. You want to build around it if you're white, and it can just, you cast it, and you can probably just get a killing blow in 1 or 2 turns. Next, we have one of the few pieces of direct removal, Righteous Blow. 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If you're playing white, and you have this card, you should play it. If you're playing against someone with white and they have a single white mana open, something to keep in mind. Be wary of the Righteous Blow. Next, we have Serif of Dawn. It's a 4 mana for a 2/4 flying lifelink. I think it's fine. If you need something in the 4-drop slot, it's certainly something that's solid. It's very hard to kill, and it's pretty good. Next, you have Silverblade Paladin. It's a 2/2 for 3 that has Soul Bond that gives creatures double strike. This is definitely, you know, it's a rare for a reason. It's great if you're white and you're playing it. If you're white, you play this guy. Next, you have Spectral Gate Guards. Why did I say Safeguards? It's 5 mana 2/5 Soul Bond that as long as it's paired with another creature, they both have Vigilance. I mean, I think he's okay. If you're a little bit of a slower deck, definitely a creature to keep in mind. And having a 2/5 with or without Vigilance for 5 is, you know, not great, but not horrible. Next, you have Terminus, 6 mana. Put all creatures on the bottom of their owner's libraries, or with Miracle, you get to do it for 1 white. I play this card. I have I like it more than I should, because it's not, you know, insane, but I really like it. I'd play this card myself, but it's on the fence. Next, you have Thraben Valiant. It's a 2/1 for 2 with Vigilance. It's another human is the way I see it, unless you're super aggressive, but otherwise the 1 toughness makes it kind of meh. Next, you have Voice of the Provinces. 6 mana for a 3/3 flyer that when it enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 human. This is not as good in my eyes. You're paying 6 mana for 4 power, which is not that great, which is why it's at common. It's not something you want to play unless you need something to, you know, cast for 6, but even still, probably don't do it. And last, we have Zealous Strike. It's the moment of heroism meshed with, what is it called? How could I possibly forget what that is called? I have a foil copy here on my desk. The 2 cards I pick up, Moment of Heroism and Skillful Lunge. smushed together in one, minus, you know, the lifelink, which was kind of relevant. But definitely, again, if they have white, or if they're playing white and they've got 2 mana open, and it seems too good to be true, definitely something to keep in mind. And I would play this card. It's a good combat trick. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the other colors. And peace.